Okay. I think we are officially live for day 4, the afternoon edition of our social hangouts. We've got Stephen Kilcullen joining us. Stephen, lean in. Stephen is one of the associate producers helping us develop the project and get this thing going. He's going to join us today for questions with Alora Smith, and then later on at 3 o'clock, we're going to have Alexander Dunn on.
We have another contributor to the Indiegogo campaign. If anyone was watching last night, we gave you a recap of who has been contributing so far, and someone who has backed us already, Sean Durkin. Big thank you.
Two-time backer.
Thank you, Sean. He came back today and donated again, just making sure that the ride is definitely going to keep going. Very much appreciate it, Sean. Thank you. Thank you. And we do have videos that we are going to be making to everyone who contributed with $25 or over. We're going to be getting those made today and putting them out on your social networks. So something to look forward to as a little bonus on the weekend from Just Drive. So Chris, tell us a little bit more about what's been going on.
We've been doing our social interviews 2 a night. 6 actors so far we've talked to. All of those interviews can be found on our Just Drive the Movie Google Plus page or on the Just Drive the Movie YouTube page. Today, we're having a special afternoon edition with the ladies. You'll be able to submit your questions. You can tweet them to us. You can send them to the Q&A in the Google Plus window, which if anybody sees this, we would really like to do some questions and test out our Q&A technology here. So send us a question.
Go over to Google Plus.
Kilcullen's going to be manning the 1s and 2s on Twitter, making sure that if there's any questions coming in, we were on it. And also tweeting out some special deals and perks for people that come and ask questions.
Ooh, special deals and perks like what, Chris?
One of the perks,
whatever Steven thinks up. If suggestions are welcome.
No, I can't tell them on here because if I tell them on here the perks they'll get for coming through Twitter, then they'll go through Twitter and they won't actually use the Q&A button here. But, I guess that's actually not right.
Does that make sense, everyone watching on here? Will you not go to Twitter now?
No, because the perk is for using the Q&A button here. So I guess if they're watching here, they can use the Q&A button.
Why wouldn't they get a perk either way? Get a perk, people.
Yes, you're right, which is why I adjusted on the fly. One of the things I'm quite good at. If you send us a message or a question through the Google Plus Q&A button here, so we can tag it and have it as a metadata question for the people that watch after the fact, we will give you a free $5 VOD perk. You'll get to vote for the charity that the campaign benefits, and you'll get a free view of Just Drive when the movie comes out.
And doesn't that also include the option of the party on Google Hangouts, where you can watch it with a bunch of other people, and therefore you can all have fun together?
We're going to have a live stream Google Hangout, just like we're doing right now, where anyone in the world can watch the movie together. We'll all queue it up and watch the movie at the same time, and we'll give you a rolling Q&A using our Google Hangouts Q&A technology we're trying to test out right here.
So speaking of, this is the first week of the Indiegogo campaign. Speaking of perks, aren't there special launch deal perks this week?
We do have launch deal perks. We have the Activist, and I believe it's the Conspirator or the Social Conspirator. It's either the Co-Conspirator, the Social Conspirator, or just the Conspirator. I had to do many iterations with it to get the proper number of characters that I could put in the window. So it is some variation of the Conspirator. But one of them is our $60 package that we're giving away for $50 up until Tuesday. And the other one is a $100 package that we're doing for $85 to celebrate launch week.
Ooh, and with the $85 one, you get a T-shirt. An awesome Co-Conspirator T-shirt.
No, the original Conspirator T-shirt with the Guy Fawkes mask ghosted in there. The big benefit of our launch deal perks is the personalized DVD. We will hand make your DVD for you with whatever still you choose from the film. You'll get your own one-of-a-kind still as your background. You'll get to pick your bonus features from an a la carte selection. And the DVD cover, there'll be a little personalized Easter egg in there that you'll have to find from us. This is all gonna be done to make sure that each DVD that we give out to our fans is a one-of-a-kind, unique DVD. There will be no two alike.
That sounds very exciting. Alora is going to be joining us in just about 3 minutes, so we should send her the invite now so she can join us at 2 o'clock exactly.
We're
We're getting better at this, people.
We've yet to have a first attempt success yet. Will it be Alora? Steven, anything to add while we're waiting to bring our guest in?
No, nothing to add.
How's it going over there on Twitter?
About to send the first tweet.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Engage.
140 characters, not a whole lot. Gotta say, 140 words would have been a lot nicer.
You know where it gets even less is when you start tagging people because you're having a conversation back and forth and you have to have 2 or 3 people's Twitter handles in there, and that just eats up all your characters. So now you can basically say in response because that's all the space you got left. Heaven forbid you want to toss a hashtag in there. And while we're talking about Twitter, I've got a question. What happened to the unlimited character change for direct messages that was going to come on Twitter, where we could have a whole conversation in there and not have the 140 character limit? Bear, stop bumping the camera, buddy.
We have a dog. His name is Bear. He's adorable.
He's trying to squeeze himself as close to the fan as possible, which is by our feet, keeping us cool.
He probably will not make a cameo. He's shy.
For our viewers, a quick little recap. We're waiting for Laura Smith to join us. We just sent out the invite. If you have any questions at any point in time throughout our interview here, you can submit them below with the little Q&A button if you're on Google+, or you can tweet them to Just Drive Movie on Twitter, and Steven will read your tweet out loud. We're giving away a free $5 screening of the film to the first person that does a Google+ Q&A question. It can be about the film or the actor.
So right now we're starting the 3rd round interviews. And we've had 2 previous rounds of auditions with each of these actors. You can check them out on Just Drive the Movie channel on YouTube under the playlist for round 1, round 2, and you can see who else is already interviewed for the 3rd round. We're going to be having interviews every night. Now, again, tomorrow night, Monday night, and Tuesday night with 2 different actors for the roles of Jeremy, Sasha, and Tony. And we're going to readjust for just 1 second. Everybody up.
There we go.
All right. That was fun. Hello, everybody.
Adjustments need to be made live. Oh, see, told you we had a dog.
Maybe Alora came to our place instead. That would be great.
I'm going to send our second attempt to Laura. We officially still do not have a first invite success story. Oh, that could be our first Twitter question.
So she doesn't see the invite. Sending it again.
I bet my life she's not under the social
She
folder.
is.
Alora, if you're watching on YouTube at all, or somebody's with you that's watching, you can go to Google, log into your Google account, and then just go right to Google+, and it should prompt you right forward or right in the notifications, have that invite right in the window. If there's any other actors that are watching the interviews, I know we talked to some the last couple of days and they've been watching the interviews. We would suggest practicing with a friend on Google Hangouts once or twice before your day, so you get used to the feel of the invites coming in. You know what to expect, and you're all set and ready to go. It's like going to dinner with these people. They're all face down in the phones, huh? Technology. I'm here with you guys, riding it out. Q&A questions right below. Hit the Q&A button if you're on Google+. If you're joining us on YouTube, we'd love for you to toss a comment below what you think, but we're not going to be able to see that until it's all over. So if you want to get in touch with us right away, send Stephen Kilcullen down there. Send him a tweet at Just Drive Movie. It's getting hot in here. Jam jar.
All right. Well, I've told her about both ways and checking her email or going to Google Plus.
Well, let's start filling some space here because we're losing viewers.
As will happen. So let's talk about some of the other perks that we have on the page. There is the $5 one, of course, which I know that some campaigns do it for a $2 as their lowest one, but we have noticed that even when you do a $2 donation, your credit card wants to charge like $2 anyway. So might as well give that as a donation and just save yourself that little bit. So we made it $5 as the minimum. And the very next one up would be our DVD download. Yes, $25 one. That is a very exciting one. Let me give you a little more details. That one includes our thank you video that we're going to be making for all of our people who did over $25. We got a couple of those to be making today. That'll be a fun afternoon for us. So you get your digital HD download of Just Drive the movie. You get your personal thank you video. And you also get a digital script with photos and the director's notes from the set.
I make lots of notes.
Lots of notes. Lots of notes.
Scribblies too. And so, I know that you're going to get the copy of it. I might put little like secret codes in there, stuff to decipher.
And on top of that, with every donation, we're asking that you make a vote towards a children's charity that you would like to see benefit from this campaign. We are supporting the children. It can be anything medical. It can be social. I'm calling them now children's programs instead of charities, causes, or foundations because it covers absolutely everything. So anything to better the next generation, we are all about it. Please make your suggestions and also tell us which actor you would like to see go on to the 4th round.
Yeah, we need some bipartisan contributions on the Facebook page. We have a post up there asking who everybody's favorite actors are so far to put a hashtag team so-and-so. And Team Michael is dominating the comment thread right now to the point where I think it's 10-0 in favor of any other actors. So we need to get some balance in there, folks. Get some Team Ellis, get some Team Alexander's, Alora's after today. We need Team Dominic.
Speaking of Alora, she is watching right now. Hey, Chris, how about you tell her how she can log in and find her invite? Because she still can't seem to find it, but if she's watching.
Is she watching on YouTube or on Google? If you log into your Google Gmail, up in the bar in the notifications, there should be the invite, or under your social tab, it should be the invite. You've got to go into Gmail, and also in the drop-down there, you can go right to your Google Plus account. You may not know that you have a Google Plus account, but it is automatically connected to your Gmail account. And by simply going there, it'll have a notification bar up in the right-hand side that has the invite link. We kind of hoped you guys would have practiced a little bit with Google Hangouts before this moment, so we wouldn't have the dead space here on the air. But got to roll with the punches. We're live.
Yeah, we have the option of calling Alora.
This is the point in the show where I'm going to say this is a social filmmaking experience. Everything we are doing is socially engaging and uses social technology. So if the ability to check an invite in your Gmail is a difficult step in the process and is a hurdle in being able to socially engage and welcome you into the project, that's part of the interview process. That's part of what we're trying to find out about the actors and the candidates is how well can they adapt to modern technology and self-promotions and these type of things.
So we've sent the email, the invite a couple of times. If you go to your Gmail address, not the one that we've been talking back and forth because that's not Gmail, but you do have a Gmail that's associated with your Alora Catherine Smith. So please, if you can, go there. It would be under your social tab, or as Chris said, if you go straight in, once you log in, you go straight to Google Plus. It should pop up immediately that you have the invite, and all you have to do is hit join.
If today is the first time you've made the attempt to open up Google Hangouts, It's going to have to install an application, and it's going to have to install a plugin, and it's going to be a few-step process. This wasn't something that you could wait until 1:59 to jump on here with us and talk. It was a test of the ability to adapt to social technologies and prepare for a social interview. We'll stay on the air here until about 2:15. Give you a chance to play with it or play around with it a little bit and get up to speed. At 2:15, we're gonna end our 3 o'clock or our 2 o'clock social interview, and we'll be back at 3:15, or actually 3 o'clock on the dot today, because during the weekdays we've been doing 6 and 7:15. But today, Sunday or Saturday, Jesus, see, killing time just has us rambling. It's no good to be here killing dead air live time. But Saturday, today, we're doing 2 o'clock and 3:15.
Let's try and send one more invite just to be sure. I want to give Alora as many chances as possible. I understand it's difficult. I do. It's something new, and I know that Alora's been on set all week. Alora's been working on another production, and I understand she hasn't had a chance, or if she hasn't had a chance. So I want everyone who we've had come along at least get as full a chance as everybody else right now.
That's why we're holding out till 2:15.
Oh, come on, Alora. And Alora got a haircut for her last production, so I'm kind of excited to see her new haircut. Is everybody else? I hope everyone is. If we've seen, she has long, luscious blonde locks. I have many different ideas of how her hair could be changed.
Another faster way to go about it that some of our other actors have had success with is through their mobile device. It's much faster, and you don't have to install anything, and it's good to go. If you've got an Android or an iPhone, if you just install Google Plus on it real quick, I think if it's an Android, it already has Google Plus installed into it. You'll just have to log in with your Gmail, and it'll pull right up when you open up the app.
So if anyone else has any questions, though, now would be a great time. I mean, if anything, we're on the fly. So any questions that occur to anyone, I'm going to check the group chat now. All right. Well, there's also a group chat option that you guys could have been discussing back and forth if you wanted to at the present moment, but I understand we're all waiting in high anticipation for Alora to come on.
My advice would be to go to the mobile device. It'll be much faster and easier and intuitive than through the desktop, where you're going to have to install Google Hangouts. Anybody that's watching, this is our afternoon edition of social casting. We're doing social interviews with each of 14 actors that are in final consideration for the roles of Just Drive. We had one scheduled here for 2 p.m. with Alora. She's having some Google Hangout issues. And at 3 o'clock, I keep getting that mixed up with the weekday schedule. At 3 o'clock, we'll be talking to Alexander Dunn. Alexander Dunn, if you are watching, I would advise for you to play around with Google Hangouts while you've got some time before your interview, and maybe connect with a friend, test it out, familiarize yourself with the whole thing, and be ready for that invite when it comes, because it's going to come right at 3 o'clock. Questions, if you're on Google Plus, we've got a Q&A button. You can submit a question. If you have a question on YouTube or from an embed that you're watching, you can tweet us your question at Just Drive Movie.
We have a new follower. Thank you, our new follower at Leadership Foundation. We appreciate they educate and engage social benefit leaders for impact.
I'm going to be a good leader right now and give my team some AC.
You know what we're going to do? We will follow you back. Thank you. We like to be social leaders for good impacts. That's what we're trying to do with our crowdfund campaign. We are trying to start a social revolution for indie filmmakers, showing them that if they're going to be using crowdfunding as a way to find support, that they should repay that support by supporting the communities once the film is made.
Here's what we're going to do. Seeing how this is social casting, we're going to leave it up to the social crowd to decide how we proceed from here. If there's anyone out there watching or waiting to see Alora with us, please send us a question or send us a tweet and tell us whether you think we should give Alora a little bit more time or whether we should move on from the social interview and wait for Alexander Dunn at 3 o'clock. I leave Alora's
Still a few minutes left to go. Alora, I sent you another message. Please check your Gmail.
If none of our viewers let us know that we should give Alora more time, then at 2:15 we're going to shut the stream down. So it's on you viewers to save Alora if that's what you want to see today and this afternoon. Send us a tweet. We'll give
or
her
you
time.
could stall. Hey, there she is.
Woo!
Woo!
It worked. I think.
Even better than a viewer tweet, we've got Alora.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that was the most confusing thing I've done in my whole life. Wow. No, it worked on the mobile. I was trying to get a hold of you guys, but I was like, I'm here. I promise. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, that was.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, we're so glad you made it.
We
Yay!
cranked up the heat a little bit to put the pressure on to see if you come through. You did.
I was like, I have 3 minutes before they cancel on me. No, please stay.
So how's it going? You've been on set this week. What have you been shooting?
It's been a very long week for me. So this week, I don't know if I'm allowed to exactly discuss details, but the first shoot that I did, I've had shoots at 7 a.m. all this week. So it was like 15-hour days. It's been crazy. One was a national commercial and the other one was a TV show that's coming out on True TV. I'm not allowed to disclose the name of it right now. But
Very cool.
Can I ask if it's reality or scripted?
It's scripted.
Cool.
Yeah, but
Very fun.
it was super fun to shoot. Everyone was really nice, and I'm just really happy that I got to do that. I had so many auditions yesterday that I had like 3 auditions in a row, and I had to completely reschedule them all because I had the shoot from like 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. It was crazy, but it was so worth it. It's so worth it for the experience and to doing what I love. So
That's one of the good things to have to juggle, having so much work and so many people wanting you involved.
yeah,
That's good.
I mean, it's good. It's good. I mean, I'm totally okay with staying busy, but it's good busy. So
They said you cut your hair. I was expecting like super short, or I was thinking all different things.
my manager actually sent you that email. I have extensions in. I always have short hair, so my hair is about like this long. So I have like a half and half kind of thing going on. But I did put them in now because every video that I had submitted before, every audition video, I had longer hair. So I feel like I should show you how I look longer hair.
I'm definitely a guy because I can't tell it all. I looks great to me. So how long have you been in LA for, Laura?
So I just moved to LA from Michigan a couple months ago. I would say about mid-January I moved here. I didn't actually plan on moving here, which was a funny thing because I do a lot of spokesmodel work as well. And I was working CES in Vegas, and they flew me out to LA for job training. And then I was like, I'm already here. I might as well just live here. So it was really a matter of, am I coming home? I never really booked a flight back. I have a suitcase with me already. So I just never went home.
Nice.
Sounds like one of the easiest transitions I've heard.
I know, right? The hardest part is getting out here, though. Everyone says they're going to move to LA, but no one ever does it because it's so hard just getting out here. You know, it's so expensive to live out here and all that. But it was
Just to get started.
Exactly.
My advice is for people to wait till tax season and take their tax return and do it all at once. That's how I got out here.
Right. Exactly. It's hard to save money to like come out here, but once you're out here and get the ball rolling a little bit with work, it's a lot easier.
So is your family still back in Michigan?
Yes, my family's still back in Michigan.
How did they take that sudden surprise of, we thought you were just going for a couple of weeks and then you made that phone call and, so I'm not coming home, but if you could send a box, that would be great. I left a few things at home.
Literally, my mom did that though because it was my birthday not that long after I moved here, and my mom, she's gonna send me like a birthday present, anything. So it's like, I just really need more clothes. That would be really cool. I was like, a whole box of clothes would be really nice. That would be like the best birthday present ever.
So we saw that you've been acting since you were really young. Really, like you were in a Rob Reiner movie.
Yes.
How
Yes.
awesome is that?
Yeah, how'd that happen?
I've been acting since I was about 10 years old, and it's always something that I've just always known I want to do. Because I know a lot of people that their parents want them to be pushed into it, or someone wanted them to be in this. No, it was always my decision. It was always me, like, Mom, I want to be an actor. I want to be on TV. Finally, enough of me annoying her about it. She was like, okay, fine. I'll send you to a camp. So she sent me to an acting camp out in LA, actually. Being from Michigan, I think that was my first time in California. I was like, wow, this is a whole new world, even though I was like 10 years old, but still. But I
Acting
absolutely
camp sounds very dramatic.
super dramatic. But I absolutely fell in love with acting after that. It was, I believe, a week or a 2-week program, and I just automatically knew that that's what I wanted to do after that. So the Rob Reiner film, I believe I was about 12 years old when that happened. I specifically remember I was in school, very young. I was in school, I was like at lunch or something, and the PA is like, please call Laura Smith down to the office. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble, because I had just auditioned for it. And my mom came to see me at school to tell me that I had booked this part in a Rob Reiner film, because it was a speaking role. And it was, a very, very big thing at the time. I was like, no way. I'm pretty sure she took me out of school that day. Sorry if my school's watching this.
I think that's for celebration.
I think the statute of limitations on playing hooky is up.
It's definitely a need for celebration, but that was by far the best film I've ever worked with. Rob Reiner is fantastic. He gets everything done. It was just so nice, having your own trailer and everything, just feeling so famous. 12 years old, I was like, I know none of you know who I am, but I have a speaking role, so.
I love it. I love it.
I want to know more about acting camp.
I'm sorry?
I want to know more about acting camp. What goes on at acting camp?
Well, this acting camp was really cool. It's called the Young Actors Camp. I'm not sure if it's still around, but if it is, I highly recommend it to anyone that's trying to get into acting, because what they did they kind of, there's different levels that you could take. Obviously, I took the intermediate level. And so I went there, and they actually brought celebrities in so that you could have Q&As with them, and then they could tell you their experiences. And the funny part about that is the second year you go, if you're one of the first couple people to sign up, you get to have a special one-on-one thing with the celebrities. So I went there the first year, and I was like, oh my God, Mom, I want to be the first one for next year. I loved it so much. She's like, okay, fine. So I actually had a tea party with Selena Gomez. And I had breakfast with Kyle Massey. We shared Cocoa Puffs. It was pretty intense. So it was really cool, because it was only me, them, and 3 other people that had all signed up first in the same room. And you just got that complete, one-on-one. It was an hour or two. You really got to know them better, and know that, they're not just a celebrity, they're a person too, and get to know their experiences, how they got into the business. And that just kind of made me in awe, because I've always loved Selena Gomez, growing up with Disney. I was just like, oh my God, I want to be just like you. So it was a great experience for me.
So did acting camp, does it take place kind of like summer camp? Are you guys out in the woods and kind of all that? You're just doing
where are there woods in LA?
We actually went hunting for bears, and we went fishing and everything. I wrestled a bear. It was pretty intense. So,
were you acting like you were hunting for bears, or were you actually hunting for bears?
And scene. Nothing like that at all. So what they did was, it was kind of more, I guess it was a summer camp, not anything being in the woods or anything. They had a big campus, and they had a lot of events that you could do. They had classes too. You could pick 2 classes. I took juggling class and stage fighting class.
Those are pretty good.
I know. I was like, okay. I mean, if you want, there was a ton of different things. It was very hands-on. There was a ton of people at the camp, so everyone went off and did whatever they wanted to do. It wasn't we're gonna bore you with every single thing. Don't even want to know, So it was very tailored.
Sounds like a blast.
It was so fun. That's what made me want to start acting, though. So I have to give it to them.
So before the camp, what was it that inspired you to actually think of acting as what you wanted to do? Like, kids like to play. We all know that. Everyone has the imagination, but what is it that struck and made you think this is definitely, like, before camp, before you went to your mom and said, you're sending me across the country away from you at a very young age and
like,
put your money and time in it? Like, what was it that made it so sure for your parents too, to believe that this is what you would definitely be putting your time into?
Well, I'm a very when I find something that I really am passionate about, I mean, it's hard to say like 10 years old, but that's just what I knew I wanted to do. I'd watch the movies, or I watch all these movies and shows. I'm just like, I want to be one of those people on TV. I want to be one of those people that not even that people look up to, just I like showing my talent in front of people. And I like being able to, I love being on set. Being on set is just like the most fun experience ever. I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but just interacting with people, just being someone that you're not, there's a certain
Freedom
awe to that, you know. There's something that I love about that, is just pretending. I guess I never grew up in that way, but that's what makes me an actor now. I mean, you know, being in someone else's shoes, being able to really put yourself into the character and make that character you, there's just something about that I love so much. And I really like trying to push myself and test myself with different roles to see what I can accomplish and if I can make it believable, and that just if I can make it real for me, then that's all I really want to do.
So can you say, is there any certain role that you've gotten a chance to have or that you've actually played? Like, because sometimes you audition for amazing roles, but you can't quite get it. Like, are there any certain roles that you can remember were the ones that were the clincher? You're like, this is exactly the kind of acting I want to do. Like, if I can do it, I would do this for the rest of my life.
Ooh, like something that I have done or something that I would want to do?
Either.
Both.
Or both.
No, hold on. I'm going to preface that.
Andrea, jumping into my question now. No, you're not. I asked my question.
Hold on. Andrea's asking what you would like to do, what you would like to do, and I'm asking basically what your favorite moment on set and that project that you've been a part of, aside from the Rob Reiner one. So it's a twofold question.
Mm-hmm.
Different question.
Okay, so I guess I'll answer her question first. All right, ladies first. But one that I would really like, this sounds really morbid and a little creepy, but I've always really liked like thriller movies. I'm a big horror movie fan, and if you've ever seen the show Dexter,
yes.
I don't know why this sounds weird, but like I've always wanted to play a killer. I always just wanted to be like the really creepy, because you just don't expect it from like
like the Julia Stiles character kind of killer, or like one that he kills because you're a bad person kind of killer.
Well, one that he kills because he's because they're a bad person.
So you just want to thin out the herd a little bit.
But there's something about Dexter, just the way that he is, that it's so like, it's not just, oh, I would just want to kill, you know, there's something so mysterious behind it. And it's just such a complex character that he got to play. I'm like, I would love to be the female version of Dexter.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool, because I've been in a lot of horror films where I've been killed, I've killed people, but it's not, you know, there are short films, but it's not too, like, diving too far deep into the character. But I would really like just a really complex character that's, you know, kind of a thriller, but there's just a lot to be seen and more than what meets the eye, you know?
Yeah.
But I would say one of my favorite moments on set.
I will sit back and let you sit for it. I'm so hogging the camera.
Fan her. So I would say one of my favorite moments on set. I really love when, you know, the crew and everyone gets into the scene, because there have been some productions where they're not so serious, where people like screw off, and it's harder to get into your character. But there is one specific moment that have you ever done 48-hour films?
No, but I'm very familiar with it. No, a lot of people have and all that.
Yeah, so I've done quite a few 48-hour films, and although they're super, super stressful, they're one of the best experiences to do, just because you get to see everyone come out and work their hardest in that 48 hours, and that to me is amazing. You know, it's amazing to see what you can accomplish in that. And there was this one 48-hour film I did not too long ago, and it was about a girl who got abducted by aliens. Me. It's called Don't Let Me Go. And the director, Franz Borenkamp, he was so good. He was so good with me when we met on set, and then he really pushed me because it's a traumatic thing being abducted by aliens and whatever. But it's a traumatic thing. It's a really hard role to get into, especially in 48 hours. You just got the script just then, and there was a certain scene where the aliens came back to like get me, and so I had to be like dragged out of the door by an alien. Like the UFO was coming, I was being dragged out the door. It was the last scene that we shot. I was just exhausted. It was just, I mean, everyone was still putting in full effort, but it was just, the end of the shoot, and it was kind of, not giving it their all. But he was like, okay, like this is the very most important part of this whole film right now. So I just want you to get it right. But he was so patient with me, and I literally had someone drag me across the floor. This was my stunt work. I had someone drag me across the floor, and the like screaming line at the end was "Don't let me go." And just trying to get that line perfectly in the circumstance, I was literally being held up, like holding on to the door, like literally being dragged out. Everyone's freaking out, there's like loud sounds going on, and he just got me like really into the moment, and we nailed the last scene. And it was just, as an actor, it was a very good accomplishment for me, and just seeing everyone work together so hard to get even just one scene done so well. It was incredible to me, and it turned out really well. Even for a 48-hour film, it turned out incredibly well. So proud of that film. And
is it available online anywhere? Can people find it?
Available online. I believe it's still being edited, since it was a 48-hour film. Now we can do more with it. But I could probably send you the link if you would like. I believe it's available online, but I don't know if the director has released it, since he was doing some like color correction and all that.
Okay. So it's like a
he's going back and
yeah, it's still in progress, but there should be something available right now, since we did have to submit one when we did it the first time anyways. But it should be available at least. But the final one, I don't think is done yet.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know.
Yeah, I totally be interested in checking it out if it's available. If not, I completely understand how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I believe there should be a copy available, but I'll ask him and let you know. Okay.
Cool. Okay, so we've asked you the background questions. Now we're going to give you a chance to ask us. Do you have any questions about the role or the movie, the story, the production, like the logistics, us in general, like anything whatsoever? Now is your chance to completely ask away.
I would want to ask for Sasha, what do you exactly see her being? I don't know how to ask this question, but what is your ideal situation for a girl to play Sasha? Like how do you see her being? Like how would you describe her?
From the filmmaker's perspective, I would describe her as a play on the stereotype. We want the trophy girl kind of stereotype to be the first impression people have of this girl, but we want to use that to catch them off guard, that we find out that there's a whole lot more going on to her. She's kind of the catalyst that changes everything. She brings in the self-awareness, the voice of reason. She's more in line and in tune with her flaws and doesn't give a damn about them than Tony, who's defined his entire life by not being able to live up to his own moral code and expectation. She's like, yeah, there's some shitty things about my personality, but I still think I'm a good person, and that makes me a good person. Where Tony very well may be a good person, but internally he has such a poor view of himself because of this impossible code he can't live up to, that he views himself as a bad person and allows that perception to persist. So she's the mirror to Tony that allows him to see what true self-awareness and self-assuredness, self-confidence, and all of that actually looks like. And she's kind of the voice of reason.
I like it. And then also, I know I did a little research on you guys, and I noticed that you worked on 2 films together, the Perfect House and the First Timers, correct?
Yes.
How was it like working with each other on there, and now doing another film together? Are you excited? how did it go?
I am always excited to wake up every single day and work with my favorite person in the entire world, my girlfriend.
Aww.
Aww.
Aww. That's the best answer he could probably give. It's been a slow progression, and slow because what we would prefer to do is have movies like literally every 6 months be starting on the next production, because that would be the ideal for filmmakers. But, you know, with First Timers, it was back in 2008, 2009, that it was a comedy, and it was just shot in LA, on the streets of LA, no less, and with a really small crew. So
No crew.
Small crew. I'm like, there was a camera and there were mics and there was some light
and my buddy.
and some actors. That's a very small crew, but it was all there. The basics, you know.
We had fun.
We went from.
I mean, it's all a learning experience too. I mean, you have to start somewhere.
Oh yeah, we didn't know anything about anything with that. Andrea did, but we had found her as the process went on. It was just me.
They
and my
were
buddy.
casting for a role, and that's how they had found me. I had just moved out here and replied to the submission, and then wound up doing the role and then helping on the tech side and reminding them that there were still things that needed to be done.
We had to take it seriously once we casted a real actor. Now we were wasting somebody's time.
But we got that one made, and then we had, now that Chris kind of understood how much work would have to go into something where you're inviting more actors in and having more crew, the next thing was The Perfect House, and that took about a year to line up to get it all set and going, and we wound up going to New York and shooting it there. So it was a little bit bigger, and the next movie that we wanted to make after that was way bigger than even Just Drive. And we realized you need to have a stepping stone in between before you go from like a smaller horror film to like a $5 million film. Everyone likes that little in-between spot just to make sure you're following the rules and you know you can handle it. So that's about a year and a half ago we started planning for Just Drive. And, you know, we had the first round script, the first one Chris wrote, which was amazing, but we found it a little heavy-handed, a little soapboxy. You know, it would have been tough for every actor to memorize all the lines. Like, it was almost 150, 160 pages and all dialogue. Yeah. Like, it's great for you guys to be able to showcase your talents, but whoo, your memorization better be dead on. Wow. So we've gone through a lot of feedback. We've had a lot of new members join the team over the year and a half, bringing in their own input, their own expertise, things that they've learned on the professional, like studio level, and also on other indie films. And at the same time, we've been paying attention to the way that everyone enjoys entertainment. Like us all, we watch everything online because we can't sit at home on a schedule and watch things or always go out to the movie theater. Like, we've been slowly embracing all the technology and ways to be able to reach out to everyone and make it as social and engaging as possible. So,
like, by the way, I have not seen, I haven't personally had anyone else do that, but I like being able to like post about it and be like, hey everyone, look what's going on.
As opposed to having to sign like that non-disclosure confidentiality agreement where they're like, in 9 months we will tell you when to talk about it, but don't even say the title.
Exactly. That's why I was like, I can't even disclose what I just shot because I can't talk about it. But
which we completely understand. We just have a different take on it, which is, you know, it pretty much, if you're going to make a movie, people have to support it when it goes out either way.
Exactly.
So we might as well give them entertainment the whole process through and let them get to know everyone involved. So that when you move on to the next one, you have your own group of fans and followers and people who know you as a person, not just as, oh, that person who is that actor from the movie who played this character, and then they know you forever as the character, but never as who you are. Like, that was one of our big things, is we want people to enjoy what we can make from here on out. Like, from here and everything else, please go and see it. But we want them to like you guys as people and see that you're doing everything you can to make your dreams happen. And you're still trying to help other people along the way, which we should all support good people.
Exactly. Getting everyone involved. I really like that a lot. It's just so much better, especially when the film actually comes out, then you have everyone already interested in it. Because everyone knows so much about it. They know everyone. They know everyone that's in it. They see their backstory, and then they get to see them act in it, and then they get to see everyone's hard work that was put into it. and you'll have something great to show them, and it'll be
So
fun.
we kind of basically got to this question, so I'll just ask it. We've been asking everybody along the way. What have your thoughts from an actor's perspective been on the social casting side of this, and doing the unique aspect with the live auditions and then the online and things like that? What are your thoughts?
I really like it, actually, just so, because I like letting people, especially people that, if anyone, is supportive of my career, like my parents were like, oh my God, I'm going to go share this with everyone. My parents are super supportive of me, but I just like being able to tell people what's going on. And I don't doubt that every other actor that is a part of this, we all know we don't have the part yet or anything like that, but it's fun to at least share with everyone what's going on. I'm happy for whoever gets the part. I really do believe in this film. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. Even if it's not me, I'm happy to promote it just because so much hard work has gone into that, and I see that, and I'm more than happy to promote that either way. it doesn't matter if you have the role.
We
appreciate that.
Yeah, we feel the same way back. We can't be any more grateful for the fact that everybody was so willing to put themselves out there and engage in this process and be so
and try
supportive
something
of,
new.
Yeah. So the feeling goes both ways to us, that like we want to see everybody that was involved with this succeed and go on to find the right roles for them, no matter what the case is, and be fans and supportive of your careers as this whole thing proceeds.
And we're hoping that other filmmakers are going to be taking advantage of this and watching everyone's auditions.
Yeah, I like that, because
this is just one more way to get your face out there too, and get those connections that sometimes your manager or your agent has to try and get a hold with the right person. This is a way of bypassing all of that and just getting your face in front of them, letting them hear your voice and see the way you play with lines, because that's what it is. Like, it's just getting your face out there and getting the opportunity to be heard. And then they can give you the script and you can read the lines and let them direct you from that point on.
Cheap plug time. Anyone that's watching, if you'd like to ask Alora a question or have questions for the filmmakers, you can send a tweet to Just Drive Movie, or if you're watching on Google+, there's a Q&A button. If you use the Q&A button to ask a question, we're giving away a free perk just because we want to test the Q&A button so badly. So please use that one.
Hold on, let me go ask myself a question. Hold on. Perks, yeah.
So with just some of the time we have left here, Alora, is there any other questions you have about the project and anything else that's going on? Feel free to kick the tires as hard as you like.
Well, I'm not sure about the project. I think we pretty much got that covered. But what do you guys like, filmmaking in general? What movies, either after this or besides this, would you like to make? Like, what genres do you like? What kind of scripts do you like to do? Or
well, Chris is trying very hard to prove that he is not just a horror filmmaker and horror writer, because even though he made a comedy first, because The Perfect House was bigger, people automatically assume he's just horror. But if they were to look at all the scripts we have in a slate ready to go, we have pretty much for the next 10, 15 years scripts that we could do, and we cover every genre before we loop back around and go back to those genres. So like, we have the suspense thriller, we had the horror before, we had the comedy, there is an action adventure that we have that's like a huge action adventure, which is obviously down the road, because if, yes, I won't tell too many details. We have, Chris does have another horror film as an option that we were thinking we'd wait a little bit longer.
There you go. You need to gotcha.
There's another comedy that he has. Like, we definitely have enough to cover everything and show that we're well-rounded.
I consider myself more of a storyteller than like a filmmaker that only, like, I want to tell comedy stories or this, that, and the other thing. It's a great story and it kind of awakens inside me. I want to do it, but like, I have pretty much zero interest in directing anyone else's stories or kind of any of that stuff outside of our own stuff. To me, it's like the writing is the first half of the coin and the directing is the other half of the coin to tell the story that you actually want to tell. So it doesn't make sense to me how a director directs something that he didn't write and a writer doesn't want to direct what they wrote, because it seems like a half-cooked.
That's their vision of what they want, while they're
it's half-baked.
Exactly.
So now everyone knows if they want Chris to write for them, he's going to direct. And if you would like him to direct your writing, he probably will say no thanks.
He will probably not have liked much.
Probably not.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna like act all pretentious in that if somebody came up and said we'd like to pay you millions of dollars to do a big studio film or what, that I wouldn't hear out the order. But like, as far as being my goal and my ambition, I'm not actively trying to pursue anything other than telling the story, our stories.
I feel you. Do you guys have any more questions for me? Anything you wanted to ask? I know.
I have one final question, but I want to make sure that we've gotten all of your questions first.
I'm going to throw Steven on the spot. Steven.
I do have a question.
Oh, Steven has a question. Associate producer Steven. Steven Alora.
Hello. When you're done with an acting job, and do you usually have something else lined up afterwards, or does it change? And when you're done with a gig, and you don't have anything like immediate, do you? Because I'm always curious about how every actor deals with that. Do you kind of freak out and when's the next one, or?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I do acting, but I do modeling as well. So there's always like some just like small things that you can do. Like extra work you can be doing. I just like being on set in general, so I'll usually go for extra work a lot just because I like being around people and I just love being on set with people. But it's not how it works. Oops, sorry, hold on one second. My phone was like 20% battery. Okay, I got it. But I wouldn't say I would ever freak out if I didn't have something lined up. Maybe if it was like 6 months had gone by and I was like, I need to pay my rent. But no, I wouldn't say so, because the business is so unpredictable. You'll have 7 auditions one week and 3 shoots, and then you'll have nothing the next week. And it's not something that you can ever be mad about for not being consistent, because it's never going to be consistent. There's no way for that to happen. I mean, if it is consistent, congratulations, you are probably rolling in the dough. But I try to do as many things as I can just to either build up my resume or just stay active, or like I'll take acting classes in the meantime, just to stay with it. But I won't ever be mad if I don't have a bunch of shoots lined up, because usually, honestly, shoots come like days before. You don't have a schedule unless it's a bigger shoot, obviously, but unless I'm like flying out somewhere. But it's never gonna be like, okay, so I know I'm doing this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the next week I have this going on. So it's just never consistent, and I'm happy whenever I get something, but I'm not gonna be sad if I don't, So
it's a great outlook.
That leads me to my awesome question. Okay. This is my like inside actors studio kind of question.
Heaven exists.
Since acting is your career and it is what is going to make you happy in life and what you're going for, at what point will you be able to say that you personally are a success? Is it a matter of how much money you can demand for getting a role? Is it how famous you are? Or is it the kind of roles you'll get that you can demand who you work with? What would be your personal level of when you've hit success and you could officially be happy from now on?
I would say, because I'm more looking into movies, like feature-length movies, than like TV shows or commercials or anything. I mean, you can make so much money off of booking like a lead role in a national commercial. Like that could set you for life, possibly, but it's not about the money for me. It's never been about that. It's what I love to do, and I would love success for me. I would love to be like the lead in a feature film, and then that be like continuously like, oh yeah, I've seen this. I'm like, oh my god, you're the star of Hunger Games. I'm gonna book you for this, blah blah blah. So that you get roles based off of other roles, and you don't even have to audition anymore because they just want you. Like I do it for my passion of acting, not for the money and not for just how much I've done. But I would like to have, film shoots like that would take a very long time, a consistent job like that. That would be awesome. I would love that. Or to even like win awards for it. And then I would call myself successful. But I think of myself as successful right now just because I'm happy with what I'm doing now. I don't need to be rich. I don't need to be a movie star, but I'm still happy with the success that I have now, and I have my parents to thank for that completely, because I would be nowhere where I am today if I didn't have my mom's support, my dad's support, and we didn't have a lot of like money growing up either, and it's just like all I work here, and then I will give back to them for all the things that they've done for me. Like I don't want to. It's not about the money for me. It's really just about the love of doing it. So
That's awesome, hon. That's a really good answer. Yay.
thank you.
We thank you so much for joining us, and sorry that we had the hiccups getting going there in the early stages.
Oh, don't apologize. That was my fault. I thought I was good at technology. I was wrong. I lied to myself.
Hey, we're figuring
Believe
it
me,
out
it does it every
we've gone along
time.
as well. But
like,
we thank you so much for taking a part in the whole process and being so willing to participate in it with that. We are so very grateful for that. And no matter what happens, we want to promote you and be a fan of what you got going on and stuff. So when you can talk about the True TV, be sure to tag us in it. Let us know. And I definitely would like to see the short, the 48-hour short, if you got a chance to get a hold of the
yeah,
right.
absolutely. I can email it over to you if you'd like. I personally think it's very good.
Cool.
So what we're doing right now is we're going to be having the last of the interviews on Tuesday. Then we're going to give everyone a chance for about a week and a half to view it, make any votes that they can. Any backers are allowed to either go through your referral link, or if they just make a backing and realize they didn't, they can go under the comment section and say, Team Alora. Yeah.
Hashtag Team Alora. I'm going to start my own hashtag.
Exactly. And then we're going to announce there are going to be 3 actors for each of the roles going on to the 4th round. They're going to be given the entire script, so they'll have time to read it over and talk with Chris about anything about the story, the character, specific lines. Then we would be letting the actors know what pages they'll be doing chemistry reads with. So the 4th round would be Google Hangouts. So 3 actors from each of them, and we'd be switching the actors around, just seeing what 3 is the best combination. Because we love everyone, and we are so happy with the amount of talent we have. It's actually more nail-biting on trying to think of even wheedling it down anymore. If we could just add more roles or have everyone take turns. Like for the first 5 minutes, one of you is Sasha, the next, we'll just keep rotating it. We could do that.
Full house it where we'll just put one girl in one day and then one girl in the other day.
Exactly. It'd be very avant-garde. The French would love it. They would love it.
Something. It'll be great. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being patient with me. Sorry it took a while. Now I know.
Well, at least now we know for next time. Thank you so much, Alora. We really appreciate it.
And for anyone watching or watches this, we'll be interviewing Alexander Dunn next at 3:00. You can join us on Google Plus, or you can Just Drive the Movie, or on YouTube. And the offer still stands for free perks to anyone that sends us a Q&A question.
Don't just favorite the tweet.
Good.
There you go. And Alora's like, I'm getting a free perk. I already know.
Yeah, I was gonna write myself a question, but maybe someone else.
Thank you so much, Alora.
All right, thank you. You have a good rest of the interviews and a good day.
You too. Thank